What do
you
you think about agriculture?
Oh, well, first of all, I think Mr. Gates has a big chunk of it these days. If we want to really talk about who owns most of this country's
I think
agriculture,
agriculture is actually where.
but I think it's it's big time science now with agriculture, man. And we're talking, seeds that are being, I mean, GMO. I mean, heavy here, and it's funny because some countries,
But I mean, even historically, I feel like agriculture was a thing, right? But it was small scale. And people still were mostly hunter-gatherers.
oh yeah, I know, but not you.
But then there was one tribe that was like, nah, we're just gonna farm and keep, you know, farm animals, animal husbandry around. And then they kind of just had the idea of private property and then started destroying every tribe that didn't assimilate into this culture. I think agriculture, I don't know, man. I read somewhere on Twitter, wheat domesticated us. And I think that's real as fuck.
It's in everything.
Wheat is what made us lazy enough to not want to be hunter-gatherers.
Oh, you said weed. I thought you said wheat. No, okay, that's what I thought you said. Yeah,
wheat domesticated us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, and
because when we were hunter-gatherers, we didn't care about private property as much. But once we had bread, literal, it was like we were satisfied to just sit around and like store up our grain.
Yeah.
Have a farm with cows and you know what I mean? Like that whole lifestyle.
But even reading the history of that, because I know exactly what you're talking about. They talk about that, like in part of the big plan of monopolizing a lot of these things. It's actually not done by accident. Like there's a plan there of certain foods that you need to make sure that you pretty much own the flow to, or pretty much just outright own. I mean, nobody's growing wheat. I mean, there are, especially around here, but we're talking, I mean, that's getting sold somewhere,
Yeah.
And a lot of,
I'm not even necessarily saying there's anything wrong with growing wheat, but I'm saying plants have intelligence.
Yep.
And sometimes I feel like we're getting used by them in ways that we have no idea what's going on, really.
By the plants.
Because plants are, even the meats that we eat, they were eating plants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there is such a thing as plant intelligence.
Are you just saying what I always walk around saying?
What?
You talking about like how like cows and bulls and all these things eat all this grass, and it's like, look at them eating grass all day, and look at how they look.
Right. But not only that, but I'm saying plant intelligence. And I think even plant intelligence is all sourced from the sun.
Yeah, that's true. It comes back to that. It doesn't happen without the sun.
Right.
Or some form of light.
The sun in this
well, yeah, I just mean even from like what's grown
planet.
inside and stuff.
Right, but even that artificial light is
synthetic sun.
Yeah, it's pretty much doing its best to replicate
the sun, yeah.
Right. So yeah, I feel like when it said that Twitter, it was kind of a funny tweet, but it was like, damn, that's just real as fuck. It said wheat domesticated us, and I feel like that's real.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was kind of the point where we went from
that's a good point, though.
Hunter-gatherers that didn't really care about staking our land because we were on the move anyway. We were following the game, or the berries or whatever. And they might have known how to plant certain things for a season or two wherever they were, but they didn't care about having that land. You know what I mean? Because they were only there for a season or two. And with wheat, when that became like our staple food, that was when that cultural shift first took place. People got lazy.
Yeah. in the grocery stores and then the mega stores.
That's way later, but
Yeah, way later.
That's the root of all
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
But
and I
that's
think
what I
that's
say
come-
with a lot of things, cause and effect. I mean, even back to 2020, like people think, like people don't see that, like the cause and effect to these things is what, 50 years from now when we look back, how did we get here, or how did that evolve to this?